Not too much on the news front. There was something I read today that is going to make a lot of people unhappy. And that is following season 8, which I'm not sure what season they're on, but after season 8, Game of Thrones will be no more.
That hurts me right in the feels.
Now, I have not watched Game of Thrones. I know the hype behind it. I know you and Zach love it. You say it's amazing.
It definitely goes down as one of my all-time favorite shows. There's just not a lot of shows that get you so invested in characters, and they're just like, oh, you love this person? Guess what?
They're
gone.
dead.
You'll never see him again. They've just had great character development. The fight scenes are always amazing. I know a lot of it. It's really not family friendly. I mean, that does take away from it because, I love female anatomy, but I don't feel like it should be overly like sexualized like it is in Game of Thrones, because it is literally in the first few seasons it is everywhere.
Yeah.
So I could have lived without that so much, but all in all, it is a great show, and I do hate to hear that it is ending. But I would rather them end it along with the book than for them to be like, oh, well, he's ending the book, but we're just going to keep going.
Yeah.
I mean, George, his writing for that book is on fleek. It's so lit, it's not even funny.
I don't understand that term.
It is dope AF, man. I just got all the hip lingo right there at one.
I quit the show. But coming from someone who has not watched Game of Thrones, I'll say that now I'll probably wait until the show ends and then just watch it from beginning to end. But I think it's a good thing that they're ending it with the book, if that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Rather than try and do something that's unique and then it ends up falling flat on its face. I'm very interested to watch it just because I've heard that nothing but great things about it from people who have watched it. I know a lot of characters from Game of Thrones have gone on to movies. Like one girl was the new Jean Grey in Apocalypse. I have no idea who her character was in Game of Thrones, but it's showing that it's a very successful vehicle.
Yeah.
And it kind of goes into something that I wanted to talk about, and that's how successful now TV shows are compared to movies. Because really, if you look at it, the movies that have come out this year, yes, some of them have been really good, but money-wise, they haven't really been doing what you would think. But now people are migrating to these shows. Like, we've talked about the Marvel Netflix shows in detail, and there is something I want to talk about here in a second. But shows like Game of Thrones, Boardwalk Empire, really high-quality TV shows now are really on notice now. And, yeah, Game of Thrones is ending, but it still has a pretty good lifespan. I mean, it's going to go 8 seasons, and that's pretty good.
I want to say we just finished up season 6.
I have no idea.
I want to say that's what we're on right now. So, I mean, we still got, a while, a good few quarter miles to go.
Well, we do live life a quarter mile at a time here in the Nerd Cave. So something I wanted to talk about, and this kind of segues into more shows, The Defenders, and this was announced at Comic-Con. The Defenders is coming out next year, along with Season 1 of Iron Fist, and that will lead into The Defenders, which is Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Daredevil, and Jessica Jones. Mm-hmm. Now, there will be more seasons of Daredevil and Jessica Jones, but not until 2018.
Yeah.
And Marvel has said they've wanted to make shows at a quicker pace. Because you got to think there's also The Punisher.
Yeah.
They've announced that. So do you think that we could possibly see too many shows at one time?
When it comes to these Netflix exclusive, I don't think we can get too many of them, because I have yet to watch a Netflix-produced, TV show or movie that is bad. I have thoroughly enjoyed all of them, and even with an Iron Fist, Luke Cage, new Jessica Jones, the Defenders, and all that stuff coming out, I really don't feel like it could be oversaturated.
I agree with that. I think they may have to bump it up to 3 shows because you've got Luke Cage coming out in September, which looks amazing, by the way.
Yeah.
Early 2017, you'll have Iron Fist, and then towards the end of the year, you'll have Defenders.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I wonder if they're going to try and put Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and Punisher out, all 3, in
At the same
2018.
time.
Maybe do Daredevil in February,
Yeah.
and then do Punisher in the summer, maybe June, and then in September or October you do Jessica Jones. Or you can really do it in any combination, but I think you got to do late winter, early spring, summer, and then fall/early winter.
Yeah, you definitely want to split them up a little bit so they're not all, coming out right there at the same time, because that could get messy.
That's true, and I think that what kind of hurts these Netflix shows in a way, and I was talking about this with somebody, the thing about binging them is great because you can sit over a weekend, but really after a month or so, the hype kind of dies down. Whereas with weekly shows like Game of Thrones, you hear like, oh, this episode was so good,
Yeah.
and it's stretched out over a longer lifespan. So I think that's the only drawback to it, but I still really prefer the Netflix exclusive route. And you're seeing more shows now.
Exactly. Like, I'm rewatching through House of Cards right now. Another great Netflix.
I got to watch that show.
I mean, it's just so good, and every time I see, that this has been, made by Netflix, I'm like, I'm putting this on my to be watched because I already know that this is going to be a great show.
While we're on the subject of Netflix shows, and we'll get into the rest of the news here in a second, you watched Stranger Things. I have watched Stranger Things. Now, we'll keep it spoiler free because it's still relatively new. What did you think of it?
It took everything that I loved about E.T., The Goonies, and what little bit of Twin Peaks that I watched, and it put them in a blender, hit puree, and then bam, Stranger Things was born.
How long did it take you to get through the whole show?
I started at 12 o'clock and ended about 12 o'clock that night.
So you literally sat down and watched the whole thing.
I had the entire day off, and I can't remember who it was. They texted me. They were like, "Hey man, you want to go out tonight?" And I was on like the 4th episode. I was like, "I'm kind of busy tonight, man. Probably not gonna be able to go out and do anything." They're like, "Okay, man, maybe tomorrow." I was like, "Yeah, I can do tomorrow." And I just sat there and I watched the rest of Stranger Things. Fantastic show.
Like you said, it took everything great about the 80s and combined it all together and just made one unbelievable show. From the first 60 seconds, I was hooked. And everything from the way it's shot to the looks of the characters, the dialogue even. But what I love, arguably what I love the most, is the intro.
Oh my God.
The music, the font, which I downloaded that font and I'm going to use it for something. I don't know what, but I'm going to use it.
Did you see the GIF that you can make where you could send a message to your friends using the lights?
Yeah.
And I want to use that so bad.
But we'll give a spoiler-free description of what it's about. It's about these kids.
Mm-hmm.
They're just enjoying life, playing a nice game of Dungeons and Dragons.
Like everybody else.
Yeah.
Cool
I thought that was kind of cool, by
Yeah.
the way. And Will, one of the kids, goes missing. And everyone from the local sheriff to his mom, which Winona Ryder, oh my God, her performance, that's her best performance I've ever seen.
It was fantastic. I can't say enough good things about the acting alone, even from the kids onto the adults.
There was one part where I don't think this is really giving anything away, but when they're looking for him in a place that they're not really supposed to be, and she just starts yelling, Will, I actually yell out loud, shut the up. You're going to get caught.
Exactly.
But no, that whole thing, it's just, it's so good. It takes everything that I loved as a kid between Goonies, E.T., everything
Yeah.
is just. And actually, we've got a Magikarp and a Slowpoke that's right about here.
Ah,
So
you got a little
shout out
pet.
to Luvi who's helping us out with the camera.
Appreciate it, buddy.
But no, it's just it's so good, and like to me, Winona Ryder's acting. If you can actually make me verbally yell at the TV, you've done something.
Oh yeah, definitely.
If she does not at least get nominated for an Emmy, that is such a major injustice. Because yeah, I've seen her in select things, but this was her best.
Yeah.
It was absolutely her best. And anyone who has not watched Stranger Things, as soon as you're finished watching this video,
Go
start
watch
it. I mean, you can sign up for a free month of Netflix. I tell people this when we're talking about the Marvel shows. You can get a free month of Netflix. Sign up, and you can get through the whole thing in a day. He did it.
I was about to say, just keep creating new email addresses to put into the free. It's bad saying that, but I mean, like you can. I won't say easily, because I neglected a lot of friends when I watched it all in one day. But I'm sure that they'll forgive me once they watch the show.
Absolutely. It's so good.
But it's definitely going to get nominated for something. You know, it has a fantastic soundtrack. Movie quality was amazing, and the acting was just outstanding.
And they're releasing the soundtrack, which is great. And I will be downloading that on my phone.
Oh yeah.